Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Recording. Recording. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games.
And
board gamey things.
Exactly. We are back after a little bit of a break from our top 50 with more games from our top 50. And today we are doing games number, I just said it, 30. What?
30.
30 to 21. Okay? We have 3 more videos to go. So this one, games 30 to 21. We're getting into some spice here. I already know my first pick is a spicy one. Also, first, just casual, not casual, just the regular updates. Our lists.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it? Leave.
Say no more.
Shout out to our channel sponsors, Raskellers, who provided us with our beautiful table, these beautiful shelves, and that sweet neon sign behind us.
Who doesn't love a good neon sign?
I literally do love neon signs, big time. Okay, Jeff, I think it's your turn to start first. What is your number 30?
My number 30 is a delve into Victorian England.
Don't mind if I do.
And that is Obsession.
Ooh, number 30.
Chianti Games.
Mm-hmm.
Obsession is a tableau builder.
Kinda, yeah. Action,
you are basically trying to swoon the Fairchilds to your party.
Yeah.
And you're doing that by building up your reputation, by inviting different prestigious guests to your estate, and you're building out your estate with different rooms to attract different people to come to those parties. So you'll do that and go through, there's certain events that'll happen as you play with this game. You have hands of cards that you can play with different guests' abilities, that sort of thing. Gain money to get different rooms to add to your estate. Super great game. It is on BGA as well. One we love a lot.
I love this game. Listen, there's nothing like inviting an American to your British party and having them lose you victory points because they're all gossips.
The gossips are the funniest.
I think that's amazing. You'll hear about that on my list probably a lot later.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot later. My number 30 board game of all time is Root. It's dropped.
I'll take it.
It's dropped.
I'll take
it was 17 for me last year. So anyways, Root is an asymmetrical war game with animals, basically, where everybody's playing as a different faction and you are just trying to come out on top by defeating everybody else. Every faction, like I said, is asymmetric. It plays differently. I myself have only played as the base characters with the exception of the Marauders. Mm-hmm. Like the mafia mice or whatever they are. The rats or whatever they are.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And this is just one of those games that it feels like a lot to get into, but once you do and you learn the factions and you start playing, it can be very addictive. The problem is this game really, in my opinion, only plays well at 4 players, which is not a player count that we typically have, and I get booted out of every virtual game I play due to the fact that I am very slow. But I love Root. Jeff loves Root. I'd like to get it to the table and play it more, but it has dropped a little bit. However, we have played physically more. We played physically more last year, which was great, and I'd love to get it to the table again.
Yeah.
Root. We'll hear about that, I'm sure, later.
My number 29 is kind of an encompassing system, and that is Villainous. But in particular, I'm picking Star Wars Villainous because it is my favorite iteration of the Villainous series.
Yeah.
Villainous, you've seen it on our channel a ton. We have a bunch of content around that. We've done some tournaments, but Villainous is a action selection card play type game with asymmetrical objectives.
Yeah.
Basically, you have this pawn, and this pawn is going to move from area to area, from place to place in order to activate actions that are on that place, depending if there are cards covering them or not. Get some coin, play a card, play 2 cards, discard, that sort of thing. And basically you're trying to screw each other over and eventually achieve your own endgame objective in order to win. I think this is a 2-player game for us. We've played it at 3 and 4, don't love it. But Villainous is one that I think will always be somewhere in this top 50.
Yeah, I think we've played it so much, and I will obviously talk about it later, but we've played it so much now that we know which characters are good for us at 2 players and which aren't, and it definitely influences the game quite significantly. But if you're a Disney fan, look no further. Disney Villainous. My number 29 is a game by Sir John D. Clare, the knight himself, and that is Cubitos. I freaking love Cubitos, and I don't know if it was higher or if it was on my list last year, I don't know. But every time I play this game, I have so much fun. Why? Because I win every single time I play it. I love it.
Your win rate on that game is insane.
Here's what I love. I love racing games, which it is. I love push your luck games, which it is. The theme is complete and total nonsense. It's so colorful and silly. And basically, it's a racing game where you are gaining coins and different things to purchase more dice that you can roll, because it's a push your luck game. So you can get a ton of dice, and you're rolling, and different faces of the die allow you to do different things. Some of them are really powerful, but they have less likelihood to roll that die face. And then there's also an insane amount of variability in this game. All these different mats, all of the different kinds of dice have multiple different cards that tell you multiple different things that you can do. And it's a blast every time I play it, not just because I win.
Not on my list, but I do agree. Cubitos is great. All right, my number 28 has, I think you already mentioned this one? Maybe? I'm not remembering. My number 28 is from Stonemaier Games, and that is Tapestry.
I did.
Tapestry is a civilization-themed game, not a civilization game, unlike a lot of the hate that was thrown towards it. It is a civilization-themed game where you are playing as asymmetrical factions, and you're basically just bumping tracks. As you move up those tracks, there's science, exploration, tech. So you're going to be bumping up those tracks, and there's a shared board in the middle where you can kind of there's a little bit of area control element to it. I just really, really love trying different strategies with different asymmetrical factions in this game to maximize my score. I'm all over the place with my score spectrum. Sometimes I'll play this game and score 80, sometimes I'll play and score 200. It's all over the place, but I love it so much. Every time I play it, it feels like a unique experience, and I love just figuring out what tracks work with each other. It's one that I think I'll just always continue loving going back to.
Yeah, this might be a weird comment, but I really like the textures of that game. Cards feel the way they feel.
Beautifully produced game.
The way the player mats, where you put your little thing. I don't know. I like the texture.
It's a very enjoyable tactile experience.
Yes, it is. Yeah. All right, my number 28 is a game for fancy people, and it's called Rococo, the Deluxe Edition, because we've never not played the Deluxe Edition. Now, Rococo is a game about making outfits, not just dresses, but outfits for fancy people so that they can go to the ball. And the board is just this huge thing where there's different areas of this palace or mansion or whatever, and you're going to different areas to get different materials and resources, and then you're also doing different things so that you can actually create the dresses. And then there's people that are asking hey, I need something, you do. So there's just a bunch of different things that you can do in this game, but essentially the theme is literally making dresses, and it is fancy. We have the Deluxe Edition, which is massive. It has so many bits and bobs in it that it is a little bit cumbersome to set up and get to the table, but I just love it. There's something about fancy, old-timey English people that I'm here for.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It's been way too long since
Rococo is
we
a
played
theme
it.
that I would never think would be something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy it. My number 27 is probably much, much, much higher on Jamie's list, even though we're getting to the nitty-gritty here, and that is Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness is a Cthulhu-themed exploration game where you are playing as investigators, and you're playing through different scenarios depending on which one you choose. There's some expansion content you can get, but each scenario is somewhat similar. You're going to be going around a map, uncovering clues, finding secrets, doing puzzles, all to the effect of getting to your endgame objective, and normally that's to maybe defeat a boss or to escape the scenario or that sort of thing. It's cooperative. You're doing some card play, you're picking up weapons, you're rolling some dice. Really great app-driven narration and ambiance with the music and that sort of thing. It's a very good experience of a game, and one we've loved for a long time.
I'm not gonna say anything because you know that's gonna be later on my list. My number 27 is a classic. Do you like birds? Great. Have you tried Wingspan? Probably, because that is definitely on my list. So my number 27 is Wingspan. I have loved Wingspan since we first played it, and I do feel like this is one of those games that it just like, it transcends birds. Okay, we've said it once, we'll say it 100 times.
That is a quote.
But everybody that plays it seems to like it, whether they're in the hobby or not in the hobby. This is a game that a lot of people are introduced to, but it is kind of like a tableau builder, action selection type of game where you are just playing out bird cards, trying to maximize your strategy to get points. I love every iteration of Wingspan. Wingspan Asia, which is the 2-player version, has been awesome. I play this all the time on BGA. I play it on my Switch as well, and I love it. I just think Wingspan is such a modern classic. It is a game that it will never leave our collection because I just think there's something really special about Wingspan.
Yeah, Wingspan's not in my top 50, but I've played a lot of it lately on BGA, and every time I play it, it
just sings.
It's slightly like increases.
Sings like a bird.
My number 26 is one that's falling, I think, and it's probably going to continue to fall for reasons that I've already mentioned on previous iterations of this list, and that is Star Wars Imperial Assault. Star Wars Imperial Assault is a campaign-based Star Wars game where you are doing exactly that. You are fighting through different Star Wars-esque episodes with really cool miniatures and maps that you're building out. There's a really awesome app component to this game that you can kind of explore and uncover and unlock new characters that you can have join your party. It's a campaign narrative Star Wars journey, and it's continuing to drop because it just doesn't get to the table for us.
Yeah.
I do hope maybe this year we can sit down and play through it, maybe over a weekend, which we've discussed, because Star Wars Imperial Assault, I have played 2 or 3
I think we played
scenarios
like at least
of this
3. Yeah.
when we were kind of first in the hobby, and I fell in love with it, and I'm still in love with it, and it's sad to see it drop to here because I think it deserves to be higher, but it just hasn't gotten played.
Yeah, I think like we've played both Imperial Assault and Journeys in Middle Earth, and they're often compared because the systems are very similar, but Journeys in Middle Earth has cards. Imperial Assault is dice, and I prefer the dice.
I do too.
So when we've played both of them, like I enjoy, even though I enjoy Lord of the Rings more, I enjoy playing Imperial Assault more. So
I enjoy
I
enjoy the Lord of the Rings theme more.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the mechanism of rolling the dice.
Gameplay. Yeah. So I would be totally down to do a weekend, maybe even on May 4th weekend, because May the 4th be with you.
Or do we play Rebellion?
Yeah, let's do both. Why not both? My number 26. Everybody knows how much I love good Uwe. All right? And this is the highest Uwe on my list because it's the best one. That's called New York Zoo.
Oh, right.
Have you heard of it? I freaking love New York Zoo. New York Zoo is a polyomino tile placement game where you are building out a zoo, believe it or not, and you are going around this board and you are basically selecting either tiles to put into your little grid or animeeples to put into the pens that you have created, or you're going to pass different selections that are going to be breeding animals in Uwe style. You have 5 meerkats, guess what? They're going to make one meerkat because that's how Uwe does reproduction. So anyways, it's very cute. It's very like welcoming. I find this to be a super cozy, relaxing game. I'm in 3 games of it on BGA right now. I just love it. There's something very like nice about New York Zoo because like it's also just kind of a solo puzzle in its way. Like you can be mean, of course, and do some mean stuff if you want, but I just like the puzzle of it all.
Yeah.
I love puzzling.
It's a great game.
Yeah. It's the best Uwe game, right?
Yeah. My number 25 is actually another Uwe game.
Ooh.
It is not New York Zoo.
Oh.
And that is Glass Road. Glass Road is a typical Uwe game where you are basically getting resources in order to score points to build up your little engine. But why I really like Glass Road is has a really unique kind of resource wheel.
Yeah.
So you actually have to produce certain types of resources in order to boop this wheel ahead in order to get different resource types that once you use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
So it's this really kind of awesome tug of war, push and pull of like, well, I need this like special resource type. I'm going to spend these resources to get it, but then I'm going to lose everything. But it lets me get this one thing I need. It's typical Uwe fare, but one that I've very much enjoyed and definitely need to play more of.
Yeah, I think, now you can quote me on this, but I think one of the things that we want to do this year is a couple months out of the year, we want to pick like a designer or something and play all of their games. Uwe is one of them, which means yes, yep, I'm going to be playing Agricola this year. Look out. World, here I come. Okay, before I get into my number 25, we have just a mini announcement that we want to make, which is that we are going to level up in February in New Jersey, in Joycey, in case you didn't know where New Joycey was, but that's where we're going.
Alert.
Big excitement alert. So we are going to level up. If you are going, please put it down in the comments. We would love to know. We're going to be going there just hanging out, playing games, and doing some fun stuff. And really, Level Up is the type of little convention where that's all it's about. It's about playing games, getting together with people who love games. So we're going to put all of the information that you need down below in the description. We do have a $10 off coupon. So if you've been like, I don't know, should I go? Should I not go? Why does your voice sound like that? I don't know.
And you want to save $10.
And you want to save $10 to come hang out with us? You can use that coupon. So anyways, it'll be down below in the description. Level up. Here we come. My number 25 has dropped a little bit for me this year. And I actually don't know why, but it's, you know, the list is the list. That is Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. So Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation is a 2-player only, like Stratego style Lord of the Rings game where one side is playing as Frodo and the gang. Shout out to Carlo, all you can board, Frodo and the gang. And the other side is playing as Sauron and the gang. Okay, so basically we got the good guys and the bad guys. Each side has an objective. Frodo needs to get to Mount Doom to chuck the ring in. He's got one job, while Sauron and the gang are trying to get to the Shire. They're just trying to get 3 of their people over. There's a card play in this where, like, when you battle, first of all, everybody's hidden. So when you move into somebody's space, suddenly it's like, boop, oh, surprise. You reveal yourselves, and everybody kind of has, like, a bit of an asymmetrical card that goes with them, and then you're also playing like a attack card secretly and trying to kill off the other people. You're just trying to finish your objective before the other player does. This game is, it has no right to be as good as it is, honestly. It's just so good, and it's hard to find, but I was so happy we found a copy, and
it's smooth. We
play the crap out of that game. Like, it is awesome.
Yeah.
I know, Jeff.
I'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My number 24, I feel like maybe should be higher. The more I play it, the more I think it rises. But that is Brian Boru. Brian Boru is a trick-taking area control game. It sounds a bit crazy, but works really, really well.
Yep.
There's a bunch of different tracks around this map of Ireland, and you're trying to control these different regions by winning tricks. The thing with Brian Boru, though, is you don't necessarily know or want to win every trick because sometimes it costs money to take control of an area. Maybe you don't have any money. Or maybe you win a trick with a lower value card, and so you also win you win that area, but you win it for cheaper. So it's this really cool, interesting tug of war between the trick-taking and the area control piece. And there's these different tracks that help you also score points. There's like a marriage track, which gives you like a bonus card that you can get. There's like a church track. So it allows you to put like a monastery out, which actually boosts your control in certain areas. There's a Viking track, and these Vikings can actually go on your areas to assume control and raid and take it away from other players. It's awesome. I enjoy every time I play it, and I think it's only going to rise.
Yeah, this was lower on my list, but I also think it's only going to rise, mainly because I feel like we've played it so much lately. Yeah, I love Brian Boru. It's higher on my list, but It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my number 24 was my number 25 last year, and that is Calico.
Mm.
I love cats. I love cats who like getting cozy, and I love melting my brain. And that's what Calico is. It's a brain melter, like puzzly game where you're just trying to satisfy the needs of the cats who only like certain patterns. And there's a bunch of different cats, and you're trying to basically appease the cats while also organizing your tiles on your little quilt board in a way that is going to score you as many points as possible. In order to achieve everything, like, it's nearly impossible. I've only done it a couple of times, but like, you want to do it so bad, and that's what I love about Calico. I just think it's so much fun. I have played it solo. I do really enjoy it solo as well, and yeah, put a cat game in front of me, I'm gonna like it. Bada bing.
My number 23, I think, is one that's going to fluctuate a lot on this list because I was pretty down on it this time last year, but it skyrocketed up mainly due to BJ, and that is Blood Rage. Rising Sun was my favorite of the Eric Lang trilogy, if that's what you want to call it. But Blood Rage this year has skyrocketed because I've gotten to play it more. I've gotten more comfortable with the cards, and one of the downfalls of Blood Rage is playing it and not understanding the combos and stuff. I'm still not nearly as good as my friends who I play with, but I've come to appreciate Blood Rage for what it is, and we play it basically on repeat now. Blood Rage is a card drafting area control game where you are in this Viking mythos, and you're trying to take control of areas, but also like sending your warriors to Valhalla and stuff in order to score points. And you're doing this through unique card play and battles, and there's these bonus actions you can get and bonus points, that sort of thing. Very, very good area control game, but I would play it with people of equal skill level.
Yes. Don't make the mistake that I have made playing this, going in being like, I don't know what the frick I'm doing, and Kyle's like, well, I know every card like the back of my hand.
He's like a Yu-Gi-Oh player with this little like thing, and he's like, I'm going to play out the +10 Fire of Goblet.
Exactly, and then he goes Super Saiyan.
And then he scores 300 points, and we score 50.
It's crazy. I like Blood Rage. It's not my least favorite of the three. Ankh is my least favorite, but Rising Sun is definitely my favorite of the three. My number 23 is a game from Leader Games. We got a couple Leader Games in this one, and that is Fort. Fort, I don't know what it is about this game, but you know how much I love this game. I have loved this game since I first laid eyes on it.
Day one.
I have never won this game. I am terrible at it.
That's actually crazy. It's true.
But it's still so much fun. So in Fort, you are just a bunch of kids who are getting toys and pizzas, and you're trying to make friends and build forts, and there's an expansion with cats and dogs where you can like have a dog come on over, or cats and stuff. Anyways, it is so much fun, and you're like, it's very mean because you're also like trying to steal friends from other people, and it's kind of a deck building. It is a deck building game where you're like building up your hand and your kids and all of that stuff. And there's something about it that I just love. It's adorable. It's super fun. It's super mean, and it's just a little card game that to me is a beautiful thing. I love it.
I do love Fort too.
I love it.
I love Fort because I always win
Jeff
Fort.
always wins. How do I always lose?
I feel like you won once.
I don't think.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
I don't think.
My number 22 is another Uwe, but not my last Uwe, and that is Caverna. Caverna has skyrocketed up this list because I've just played it on repeat all year. Caverna is, in my opinion, a easier version of Agricola. It's more friendly. It's got more ways to reduce or mitigate the punishment that exists in Agricola.
Right.
So in Caverna, you have its worker or action selection, worker placement. You're going to be going to different areas, and you're basically building out your cave, building out your little farm area to get more food, essentially, to feed your people. You can send your workers out on expeditions, which are like bonus things you can get. But basically, you're gathering resources to build rooms in your cave, to get livestock into your pastures, and to have vegetables to eat and feed your family to score points at the end of the game.
That sounds like Agricola.
It is very much like Agricola, but less punishing.
Right. Listen, everybody knows how I feel about Agricola. It's not good. I've never played Caverna Blah, so I don't know. I might like it more than Agricola.
You would.
We got to get a copy then.
You did.
Let's buy it.
I would absolutely sit and
we'll
play
buy it.
Caverna
It'll be
with you.
fine. Okay, my number 22 was my number 22 last year.
Oh, wow.
How crazy is that? That is Imperial Settlers Empires of the North. Speaking of games that I have loved since I first laid eyes on them, this is one of them. We have had this game in our collection since really we deeply got into the hobby, and I just love this game. So basically you are playing as, everybody has a bit of an asymmetrical like tribe, I guess. And this is an engine building game, but each of the different clans, I think they're called clans, plays differently. So one of them you might want to get like a bunch of cards out, and basically like you're gathering resources so you can play cards so that you can trigger different things so that you can score victory points. You're going sailing, you're doing all of these different things, and there's a really interesting like action selection like wheel mechanic. There is a lot going on in this game, but it is not an overly complex game, but it is very cute. It is a very combo-y, especially when you play little penguin girl, who's my favorite. And there's just something about this game that I'm like, why don't more people talk about this game? Why don't more people love this game? The only other people that I know that talk about this game and love this game are Nick and Mike and Sam and Kate.
Yeah.
That's it. And I love it. Like, it's so good.
I think
so
it's just
cute.
gotten buried.
I think so, too.
I also love this game. It's so good, but Jamie always plays as the Penguin Girl faction, and I cannot beat her as the Penguin Girl faction. It's impossible.
We own all of the expansions with the exception of the Egyptian one, which I would love to get. But, like, we introduced this game to people quite a lot because I've introduced it to Billy and Michelle. We've introduced it to Jason and to Zach. And, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. All right, last one up for me on this list is number 21, and that is London. London is a card-driven tableau builder where you are building out London. And you're going to be doing that in your little area. What I really like about London is a very, very mean game. It's a very punishing game, so take that for what it is. But in London, you're going to be putting out different areas of London in front of you. And for each one of those areas that you're putting out, you can put out as many as you want. The more of these areas in London that you are putting out, the more chances you have to collect poverty, which are negative points, and they can accumulate very quickly. So you basically have to be careful with how many of these areas of London you're putting out in front of you. And then when you activate your city, so you're building out your city, and when you activate it, you're going to go from left to right, activating each card. And those cards will have bonuses on them. There's a shared board in the middle that you're drafting from. It's a really, really awesome two-player card-driven game that, again, is super mean and super punishing.
Yes. So we have played this game at 2 and at 4, and I think I preferred it at 2 because it goes a little bit quicker at 2. But like, this is another one of those games that's very combo-y. Like, and you're just like, well, do I have to activate this one first? Should I activate this one first? So like, there's a lot to think about, even though the game itself, like the rules are not complex. Like, it's very simple, but there's just a lot to think about.
Sorry, I said from left to right, but it is just like,
whatever you want
to do in whatever order.
My number 21, and last on this list, is Res Arcana, which was number 28 for me last year, so it is increasing. Res Arcana is a game that Jeff loves and has introduced to so many people, and then we just started playing it all the time on BGA. All the time on BGA with Billy and Michelle from Second Star to the Left. We played a lot with Libby and Julian from Box Meeples. Like, we just played it all the time, and it is another one of those like engine builder kind of games where you have like a limited amount of cards that you need to play out to synchronize off of each other in order to reach 10 points. First person to 10 or over in however many rounds.
Race to 10, yeah.
Race to 10. There's so many different strategies, and like there's these mages, so you get to like get a mage at the beginning, and then you have to think about, okay, well, how am I going to get my mage to work with the cards that I have? And then you have to find one of the places of power, exactly, that you're going to put out, which is going to help you get more points. And like, you're trying to generate as many resources as possible so you could do as many things you want, and then people are attacking you and taking your anyways. It's amazing. I have been this game has grown in love for me like so much, and I'm always down to play it. Always.
Talk about it at some point.
So, that is the list for today. That is number, what were we, 30 to 21. So that means that next video is going to be 20 to 11, and then we're getting into the top 10 of all time,
We're
which
getting
is
close.
crazy. So if you would like to continue watching this journey, please follow us along because we got some more stuff. We are going to be sharing more of this list with our Patreon community. If you are interested, feel free to join, no obligation, but just in case you're interested, information is going to be below. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, like any of the many that we talked about today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Heck yeah, it is. You like snacks?
I do.
Amazing. Where do people even get snacks?
Munch Pack.
Munch Pack. That's right. We have a $5 coupon. I said that so fast, the words ran together. Anyways, that's everything we have for today. If you like what you see,
Please subscribe.
we hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
My number 29 is a game by Sir John. Don't look, you cheater.
I was zoned out. I wasn't even reading.
Joycey. Okay.
Joycey. It actually might have been higher last year, though.
I can tell you, Jeffy. I got your listy boy right. Yeah, it was 25 for you last year.
Okay, well, it's up one spot.
Yeah.